We will follow steps of Jesus wherever they go. Though they lead on cold dark mountains, seeking His sheep, or along by slow fountains, helping the weak. Footprints of Jesus that make the pathway grow. We will follow the steps of Jesus wherever they go. If they lead through the temple holy, preaching the word, or in the homes of the poor and lowly, serving the Lord. Footprints of Jesus that make the pathway grow. We will follow the steps of Jesus wherever they go. Then at last when on high He sees us, our journey done, we will rest where the steps of Jesus in His throne. Footprints of Jesus that make the pathway grow. We will follow the steps of Jesus wherever they go. All right, page 262. Let the Lord speak. Brightly wings our Father's mercy, from His light as evermore. But to us He gives the keeping of the lights along the shore. Let the lower lights be burning, send a gleam across the way. Some poor fading, struggling seaman, He may rescue, you may save. Dark the night of sin has swallowed, while the angry billows roar. Eager eyes are watching, longing for the lights above the shore. Let the lower lights be burning, send a gleam across the way. Some poor fading, struggling seaman, He may rescue, you may save. Trim your feeble lamp, my brother, some poor sailor tempest tossed, trying now to make the harbor in the darkness may be lost. Let the lower lights be burning, send a gleam across the way. Some poor fading, struggling seaman, He may rescue, you may save. All right. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you.
Thank you, me. Thank me and thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right. Let me get me a. Oh, I've got plenty of roasts up here. All right. Now here we are again. Wait a minute. Let me turn on my microphone. Okay. I guess I'm on there, ain't I? I knew I was. Okay. Well, if y'all will hold on, I'll get this thing done. Well, I've turned things off.
Okay, we're going to read to you some of the response that people gives us from our messages. They write to us from all over the world, since we're on the internet 24 hours a day, streaming around the clock. And these are people that either like us or dislike us. Some of them don't like the message of predestination or that Christmas is pagan, and that's their prerogative. Oops, this lady says, don't read this on the air. Well, just come down here and join us, Cheryl. Okay, that's all I'll say. All right, let me read to you what a lady from Canada, Shauna Rodenheiser, she's been writing us for a while. We are on internet up there. In fact, we're on internet everywhere. And you can look at our website, graceandtruth.net. And there we are. Good day to all at Grace and Truth. Listening and learning from Grace and Truth a while now. Thank you for truth. I'm hoping for a little more truth regarding women's clothing, how men and women should dress. I've been a believer for a few years now. Well, you should dress modestly, not exposing your nakedness. I have a question that has been on my mind. My question is regarding these scriptures about clothing from Deuteronomy, verse 5, and Timothy chapter 2, verse 9. The woman should not wear that which pertaineth unto a man. You have to understand something. The only difference between women's clothing and men's clothing was usually the color of the sashes. It was not, they all wore a long dress type clothing. And the women wore different colors, different type sashes. What this is saying, when you're dressing, don't look like a man if you're a woman, and don't look like a woman if you're a man. We've had women come here, and I've had to call some of them down for wearing exposing dresses or tops or clothes that were too tight. You shouldn't be doing that. Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so or abomination unto the Lord thy God. Now you need to understand something. Pants were not invented until the 1700s. They called them pantaloons. So it's simply saying, look like the person you are, and don't try to look like masculine if you're a woman, and vice versa. In like manner also, women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with braided hair. Back then, only the women would braid their hair and tie jewelry in it. And it's simply talking about gold, pearls, or costly array. We've had people come in here visiting for the first time, and look like a flash of light come in because they had on clothing that was not conducive to Grace and Truth Ministries standard. What are the garments that pertain to men only? It didn't have to do with pants. When they would gird up their loins, they did that to either go on a trip or to work in the field. And they would pull their garment up and tie it around with their legs sticking out, and that looked like a diaper thing. You've seen people like that working in the field. In fact, the famous Indian leader Mahatma Gandhi dressed that way when he was working. And it's simply talking about not trying to look like a man if you're a woman, or trying to look like a woman if you're a man. Dress in modest clothing. You should know what that is. We had one lady come here one time, and I'm standing up here. She's sitting right about there where you are, and she's bent over, and you can see all the way down to China, you know. And I had to call a woman and say, come here. And I said, go tell her to cover up or take her something to cover up with. That's very distracting. And I can't believe it. People don't know that. When growing up, most older women wore dresses and modest clothing. We were sent home from school if we were dressed inappropriately. I thought that women and men were not to show any nakedness. The woman especially, as it could cause a man to lust and then sin. Our bodies are now the holy temple. You're exactly right. Could you please explain what women should wear? Modest clothing. And that's what the women here wear. Where do the teaching of men in pants and women in dresses come from? It didn't come from the Bible. The pants were an invention later on. I used to wear pants and shorts and all the fashions. For some reason, I do not want to wear them anymore. Well, you do what pleases you as long as it's modest. Nor dress in short skirts, etc. I've been wearing skirts, long ones, and friends, family that know me ask me questions. I sometimes get comments of you are too old-fashioned. A lot of rude comments because I'm trying to dress modest, both inward of the heart and outward. The good thing is it opens doors to speaking truth. It sure does. Could you please explain the garment that pertains to men and garment that pertains to women? I've done that to you in this already. If you wore a skirt and started teaching the Word of God, would that be appropriate? Well, you're not supposed to be a preacher. You can teach in a class. If a woman wears pants or skirts, it does not seem to matter. I need some clarification on this. Thank you, Shauna Rodenheiser. If you'll call me, we'll talk some more about it. Pam Volker writes from Kentucky, and she says, hi, Jim, Mary, and Tom. Hope all is well and you guys are having a good summer. I wanted to request information. Jim said he had about Easter and Catholics that read on DVD service 3672 and 3675. I love hearing the aletheia about Catholic traditions and how it was amalgamated pagan stuff with Christians. Also, I would like to request series on spiritual DNA, biblical biology, and chemistry. I am an RN and love learning about God, the Creator, and how He works through medicine, especially since He is the great physician, the great I am. I want to know what you guys thought I should do with all my holiday decorations since we no longer celebrate Christmas, Easter, Valentine's Day, Mardi Gras, St. Patrick's Day, and my most favorite pagan holiday, Halloween. What should you do with it?
Burn it like
Was
the
it-
Warriors and Axe did.
Sell it to somebody else so they can use it? No, get rid of it. There's a trash man that comes every Friday at our house, and you can put it in there. You wouldn't want to sell. That's kind of like saying, I've got an old bottle of liquor. Should I keep it or should I? What should I do with it? Well, throw it away. Or I got a gambling wheel. Should I keep it for the church or something? No. Get rid of it. I feel very ashamed looking at all the decorations, knowing my time, talent, and money went towards something that didn't have anything to do with Jesus. We stopped participating or celebrating in all these back in 2010 after hearing the aletheia in Jim's services. I have 2 bunny costumes that I bought and used as an outreach for a Baptist church. Isn't that something? We attended. Boy, was I ignorant about the truth. But I am very thankful for your teachings. I was going to have a yard sale as a way to witness for Jesus and about why I don't need the decorations since they are all pagan. However, a few years ago, I tried to sell some of the decorations at a local flea market, and one of the women I was witnessing to stated, yes, she knows Christmas is pagan since she is a pagan worshiper, and those are their traditions, not Christians. God bless, take care, and keep up the good work for the Lord. Lost sheep like myself have been found and returned back to our shepherd Jesus. Pam Volker in Kentucky. Pam, we love you. They're very faithful supporters, and stay in touch with us. Come and see us. And then, I can't read all these. People are writing along. I'll read some of the short ones. All right. This is from Ann Shirley in Ridgeway, Virginia. Dear Pastor Jim, just wanted to say I watched today's message on Ustream and was taking notes, but not like most people might do it. In order to keep from being distracted, I used large note cards cut in quarters. On each, I will write a Greek word or a scripture reference as you say them. Then I tape them to my kitchen cabinet, which is directly over the computer. I also use note cards as bookmarks for my Bible. I hope this system will help me stay on track, become more focused. I'm working diligently to de-junk my house and life, being inspired by Marie Kondo books. I might even try and put my home on the market within the next year, thinking about moving closer to my grandchildren, or if they won't have me, I'll relocate to Grace and Truth, Tennessee. Thanks so much, Ann Shirley Marshall, Ridgeway, Virginia. And we love you, and you keep on seeking truth. And then I got I'll read that one later, and I'll read from Gil Naveau. He's in Port Arthur, Texas. Gil has been with us for a long time, calling us. Dear Under Shepherd Jim, enjoyed the study on Revelation. Listening to you teach helps the scales fall off my eyes, where the twisted truth and lies had me blind. Amazing is grace and truth. Was blind to truth, but now I really see. In Revelation 22:18 and 19, would you say these are the final rewards for those who twist the truth or omit part of it? As always, stay in the narrow way to conform to icon of Jesus. Gil Naveau in Port Arthur, Texas. I know where Port Arthur is. That's 15, 20 miles from Beaumont, where I graduated from high school. All right. Now, that'll be enough reading. I'm sorry I can't read all of them. I'd be here for a long time. And I'll just get to them as I can. I got a bunch of letters. I'll just read the names of the people. I can't read all of them. If I could, I would. But these are some of the letters I've got. Patricia Hogan in Florissant, Missouri. Johnny Barnes in Beaumont, Texas. Margie Charlton and gang and family over in Roanoke, Virginia. And got a card here from Elizabeth Taylor over in Dayton, Ohio. Carlos de los Santos in Houston. Sandy Doyle and family up in Wisconsin. And the Morgans over in Hermitage, Tennessee. Y'all come over here and see us. And then I got one from Willie Hollis in Charlotte, North Carolina. If we can, we'll get to reading some of those. All right. Remember our announcements. We're on TV in Nashville every night at 8:30 on Comcast at Channel 49 every night. And also on Sunday morning at 8:30, same station, Channel 49 Comcast. And then we're on radio every Saturday morning at 8 o'clock on WNQM, 1300 on the dial, and we're also on every Saturday morning in New Orleans, Louisiana. And we're on TV all over the country, from East Coast to West Coast, from Los Angeles to New York, down the eastern seaboard to Boston, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Charleston, South Carolina, and all the way down to Miami. So we're covering all of that, and also in Los Angeles and up towards the Seattle area and all over the Midwest, Kansas, parts of Missouri, and so forth. Now, I got all these other letters, and I just don't have time to read them. Rudolph Whitfield, Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Carolyn Dombrowski in Crystal Lake, Illinois. And Greg Cox in Washington, D.C. writes us all the time. Marcy Mewson, and up in Lancaster, Ohio, Rose Jackson in Lenexa, Kansas, Patricia Knight in Oklahoma City, Martha Bruggeman in College Station, Texas, and Kathleen Weber up in Galloway, Ohio. Alvaro Aguadelo in St. Cloud, Illinois. Kevin,
Florida.
What?
Florida.
Oh, St. Cloud, Florida, excuse me. And then Kevin Corbin, Springfield, Missouri. Got a letter from somebody, I don't know what that is. And then got a letter here from Diane Snyder in St. Paul, Minnesota. A letter from Gloria Daniels, Waco, Texas. And Kay Rogers from London, Ohio. And I don't know what this is. This is something. Somebody wrote me a letter about something. I don't know what it is. This is a Muslim. I attend a mosque, but your publication has opened my eyes. I'll read that later. I don't know what people are doing. You can't still be a Muslim if your eyes are opened. All right. All right. Now, and our announcements are, we're on the TV every night, 8:30, Comcast Channel 49. We also help our needy people. We got a lot of people that are just unbelievably needy, and they need our help. These are people that have been with us for some time. If you want to help these needy believers, send your check, make it to Grace and Truth Ministries, and put needy on the bottom of it. We also support our missionaries, Scott and Dee Worry, with their 4 children. They meet here every Tuesday night to preach. Scott preaches in Spanish this message of predestination. God does not love everybody. And all the things that we preach here, preaching in Spanish, Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock right here in the church. And you want to help them, make your check to Grace and Truth and put missionaries. And we'll be sure and get that to them. And we've got a chili cookout coming up in October. October the 14th, we'll be meeting here just down the street, back off of Main Street, about 1.5 miles from here, on the lake. We'll be there at Rockland Recreation Center on Saturday, October 14th. That's on a Saturday all day long. So come and join us. All right. Well, let's go to the Lord in prayer. And Mike, would you pray for us?
Most gracious Heavenly Father, come before you, asking to have mercy on us, Lord. We are sinners, and no good in us unless you put it there, Lord. We thank you for opening our eyes to your word, for looking out before we even came into this world, that you had a purpose for us, that we would do what you called us to in the places that you called us, Lord. And we pray that you would continue to have us be faithful, and we would walk according to your truths. Keep us on that narrow way that you've given to us. May we be truly thankful for the blessings you give us, which are undeserved. Thank you most of all for adopting us and washing us clean with the blood of your Son, Jesus Christ. That in him, in you, we can live and breathe